Hey folks, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Hi, yeah, I can hear you.
Good. So maybe we can wait 1 more minute and then we can get started.
Just to know, you start recording when you enter it, or you can start recording when you want.
It is automatically configured to start recording when the host enters the meeting, but
Okay,
the
makes sense.
configuration
Yeah.
can be changed. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was wondering if it would make more sense to record when we starting the recording when everyone is here. But yeah, okay. For the moment, we can stick with this. It's okay.
Yeah, I can change that later on to actually start when we start the meeting.
And forget.
Okay, folks. So I think we have a good quorum now and we can get started. So I will share the notes. I have so many windows open. Are you able to see the Google document that I'm sharing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
folks. Good, nice. So just let me move this over here. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to discuss today is this small PR that I have open. Yeah, this is actually something that I looking for reviews on. So the idea there is that, let me show you the issue that is easier to show. By default, when we compile a gadget, we are using this docker.io prefix on the container registry name because we are using the Docker libraries to handle these images. But for sure, we are now related to Docker, so it will be better if you use something like Google GitHub container registry.io, Inspektor Gadget, or something like that. So yeah, this is what I did on this PR. So yeah, the idea is that if you use something like this command run trace exec, this is going to append automatically the default container registry. I will say this is like the official container registry for gadgets. So yeah, it will be very nice if I'm able to get a review on that. I have some conflict there, but I will fix those probably today or tomorrow. There are any questions regarding this PR? Any ideas about that?
Yes, is the default defined as at compile time, or is it configurable?
Okay, so we can switch to the next topic.
Alba?
No, Alban has
Laura.
a question.
It was
The
really
problem is that
quiet.
yeah, we do not have the same system settings with regard to Teams than here, so it's going to be hard to hear people. But yeah, please go ahead, Alban.
Can you hear me now?
Very
It is
silently.
very low. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not able to hear Alban.
Is it better like this?
No, not yet.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Sorry. Maybe
Nope.
speak closer.
We can. It was just
Can you hear
really
me?
quiet
Oh,
before.
I think it's working now. Try again.
Okay. I was asking if the default registry was configured at compile time, or is it a configuration file somewhere?
Right now, this is a compile time. So somewhere here, yeah, there you are. So yeah, this is a constant in the code. But yeah, we could make that configurable if we want to. Not sure.
I think it's fine like this because it's otherwise between two different installations, it will be different behavior.
Yeah, I agree. In my opinion, this is better to have that hard code. By the way, this is how Docker is working. So yeah, I think we can do this way. Francis?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I'm just wondering, for example, if I just run IG run trace exec and I do not have the trace exec gadget locally, it will automatically pull it from so okay, then go for it. It's like what Docker does in the default case, so I think it's good to mimic it.
Yeah, it will pull the image. We have a pull policy parameter, and by default it tries to pull the image if this is not present locally, if I remember correctly. So yeah, it is very similar to the Docker behavior.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Is it the same for when you are building it? When building, if you don't add any registries, it's already like that?
No, this is the same. When you build the image and you don't provide a registry, the prefix is automatically added to that.
Okay.
This is the same as Docker works. When you build a Docker image, by default, they add this Docker IO, but you don't have to specify that manually because each time you don't specify the registry, they are appending that automatically for you.
Okay, great.
Okay, right. So if there are no any more comments on that, I would like to discuss another thing about the API that we are implementing for these image-based gadgets. So this is related to this PR from Burak. Where is the PR? This is here. So yeah, I was wondering about this because so let me frame this in this way. So right now we have in examples, we have like different ways to use the built-in gadgets. So basically what we do in this is that we import, this is a bad example. So we import the tracer of the gadget and we use that directly here. So in this case, if you want to enable enrichment, if you want to use the container collation, you have to configure all of that manually. I think this is done here. So yeah, as you can see, in order to use a gadget, you have to perform a lot of tasks. You have to configure the container collation with different options. You have to connect the tracer with the container collation and so on. So I think this is good, yeah, but at the same time, I think this is like a very low level API and most users don't want to have, don't want to worry about this sort of low level API. So I will say that most users only want to import the gadget, run the gadget, and then get enrichment, filtering, whatever is available for free. So I was looking at this PR, and it seems to me like this is a middle ground. Somehow this is like a low level API, but at the same time, this is building on top of the run gadget. So yeah, it's not clear to me how to move with this. What I wanted to propose is that we should have like a high level API where you run the gadget, you configure the operators, but you don't have to worry about the tracer or container collation and so on. And yeah, I'm not totally sure if this PR is aligned with that. I see like, yeah, this is more or less aligned on one part, but in the other part, this is not possible to configure operators and so on. So yeah, I wanted to know if there are any opinions on that. Yeah, I'm not even sure if I was clear in my description of this thing that I wanted to discuss.
Yeah, so maybe for the other people, in this PR, there's also an example. You could open it. So they maybe have more context about it.
Right, so yeah, this is the example that you implemented. And if I understand correctly on this case, you won't have filtering nor enrichment available, right? Or will you?
Yes, so this PR is really only for running the gadget, no filtering, no parameters. And I think I just like what my thought was. This would be a base building block where we could then enhance the other stuff on top of it.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I'm fine with providing this low-level API, but yeah, specifically speaking about this PR, as I mentioned somewhere else, I was thinking to implement this in the other way around. So this runner package that we have here, what is that? Yeah, this runner package is using the run tracer. I was thinking to implement that the other way around, to have like a runner package that has all the low-level details to pull, run the gadget and so on, and then the gadget will be built on top of that. So basically to take what we already have on this tracer, create a package from that, and then this tracer will use that package, and external users will use that package directly without having to use the tracer. But yeah, I'm not sure what to do there. Jose?
I don't see the need to provide this low-level API, honestly. I don't know if it is because it makes easier the implementation when Burak was trying to implement everything, but in my opinion, that middle or low-level API is not necessary. I would prefer to avoid having what we have in the current example, when you configure a lot of container collection, a lot of low-level stuff. You just need to run. In my opinion, people just want to run the gadget and be able to use the default configuration the way we are already running it inside Inspektor Gadget, and that's it. If they want something more specific, we will receive any requests for doing that, but I would prefer to go directly to a higher level API. I don't know if it is worth to have this intermediate step. But then if it is just an intermediate step, when we develop the high level API, it will be gone. This one will be gone or not usable or not explained to users. So I don't know. If it is just a middle step, I will avoid it if possible. Alban?
Just want to say I agree. We'll prefer to have the high-level API only. Does my microphone works?
Yeah, it's working perfectly.
Cool.
Okay, yeah, I agree as well. I was thinking about the low-level API because maybe it was faster, easier to do. But yeah, I agree as well that it will create confusion for users. So better to have this high-level API. So yeah, maybe we can discuss more on the issue itself and try to think how to implement this high-level API with operators and so on. Okay, folks, any more questions about that?
Yeah, Francis.
Yeah, I just was about to say what Mauricio said. So I think we need to discuss it more. And maybe what we can do is to have some sort of documentation for it. Like what we have currently for image-based gadget. So to first reach an agreement regarding what we want, and then we will start the implementation. Because it's a bit sad, but Burak already wrote the code, and so I think we will modify it easily. So yeah, we should rather go on the opposite. First, find the consensus, and then once we have it, go to the code.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah, actually, to be clear, it was my fault because yeah, when creating this design document, I came very quickly a possible API, and I didn't include more details about it being a high level API. So yeah, I just went too quickly and didn't think enough for how to do this. Okay, so yeah, the next topic is from Alban.
Yes, I just wanted to mention what I'm working on at the moment. I'm exploring how to run Inspektor Gadget on older kernels, like maybe for the 4.x series, I'm not sure. And just to see if other people in the community are interested, then you can reach out to me on Slack, for example. And some of the thing I'm looking at is getting, for the other kernels that don't support BTF, to use a BTF hub like we do for built-in gadget, but enable that for image-based gadgets. And some of the eBPF code we have internally in Inspektor Gadget, not in the gadgets themselves, but in the core, to check if they will work on older kernels. And yeah, so sometimes there are things to change in the code to make it work. For example, not use global variables when they are not supported in older kernels. That's it, unless someone wants to talk about it more.
Yeah, so I really like it. Thank you, Alban, for working on that. And I think I already discussed with you internally. So what is the plan for a gadget? For instance, if I want to implement an image-based gadget that should work on very old versions, but also new ones. So what I was thinking is that maybe we can have like two versions of this gadget in the same image. So a new one with the most recent kernel features like ROM buffer and so on. And then we could have like a limited version of that gadget as a fallback for older kernels. Were you thinking about something like this, or do you have anything else on mind?
I'm not sure, but I was thinking like as a gadget author, I decide what my goal is. If my goal is to work on very old kernel that I write it that way, or if I just want to don't care about it, then I write it without caring about it. It's the for each gadget, the author of the gadget can make this decision. So I'm not sure if as a project in Inspektor Gadget we can decide that.
Okay, but yeah, in my opinion, we should have something like a fallback mechanism because maybe you want the same gadget to work across so many different kernels. I don't think that like having two different gadgets, one for the newer kernel, one for the older kernel will be good. Because for instance, if you have Kubernetes, you have different kernel versions there. You just want to deploy the same gadget and internally the gadget or the framework should decide which version to use according to the kernel version that you have. And yeah, I feel like this is a hot topic. I don't know who was first, so maybe we can start with Francis.
Yeah, so I understand your opinion, and basically I sort of agree with the fact that, for example, for ring buffer with the current buffer.h API, we just have a fallback mechanism. So this fallback mechanism would be welcome. But in the case of ring buffer and perf buffer, it is quite easy to have a fallback mechanism. In the case of supporting really old kernel, I'm not that sure. So maybe we should try to go with the fallback mechanism as much as possible. But if we just realize that it is really difficult, for example, if we need to modify the AG core to support really old kernel, then we will need to think about it. And particularly in this case, I would rather go with two different image-based gadgets, one for really old kernel and one for more recent. So yeah, maybe we would, in the end, we will maybe have a mix of both solutions.
Yeah, I agree. We need to investigate more to understand if we need bigger modifications on Inspektor Gadget or not. Slava?
So just wanted to add my 2 cents to the gadget and support for older kernels. We should be able to provide the possibility for any gadget developer to specify what kernels it can run on. So just as an idea, basically that like from to run this gadget, you need to have at least kernel version X where something was added, and up to, for example, kernel Y, because from kernel Y and upwards, the API has been changed. And this will also provide the gadget developers a possibility to actually provide several gadgets. So in an ideal case scenario, I see it the following way. I, as a user of Inspektor Gadget, I have an OCI somewhere with gadgets, and there is a gadget called Gadget 1. Gadget 1 has two versions. The first version works with kernel from 4.11, for example, up to 4.15. And the second version of Gadget 1 works from 4.15 and up to 6, whatever, or up to date. So IG run my Gadget 1 selects automatically the correct version of the gadget based on its kernel. Basically, it looks at available gadgets, available gadget ones, and looks if the kernel version matches. So at least from the user perspective, it would be the best way forward.
Alban?
Yes. I think in the documentation of a gadget, in a OCI metadata, we have some labels to say description or so on. We could have something about the kernel versions, but I'm not sure about checking that automatically to decide what to run, because in a lot of kernels, for example, Red Hat kernels, they backport a lot of new feature on very old kernels. So checking the kernel version is not enough to know if the feature is there. But instead of checking the kernel version, we have some of the core functions, like testing if enum exists or if a type in the kernel exists. And sometimes we can make use of that to automatically in the eBPF code detects if the feature is present and fall back to something else. So whenever it's possible to do that, I would prefer to do that and not test the kernel versions. So that's transparent to the user, and we don't need to have several versions of the gadget. It's only one code base whenever it's possible. I don't know if it's possible for everything, but let's hope so. And if it's not for something, then we can decide at that time what to do.
Yeah, I totally agree. I was thinking to have something like a list of gadgets, and Inspektor Gadget tries the first one, then the second one, then the third one, or even another approach to prove if required feature by a specific version of the gadget is needed to avoid trying to load in that. But yeah, in summary, I think we should not rely on kernel versions because of backporting and so on. Okay, folks. So if there are not any more comments there, we can go with the next topic from Francis.
Yeah, we'll make it short. So basically, at the beginning of the month, we released the new Inspektor Gadget release. So version 0.24.0. In this version, we just added the subcommand to IG image to permit removing existing image-based gadget. We also modified our code to avoid decoding BTF on the client, so reducing some load on client side. And we continue the work regarding signing image, and now we sign image each time we push on main. So that means that the latest image is signed with our public and private key, so you can check that.
Okay, Francis, thank you so much for the quick update on the version. Yeah, actually, next time we have a version meeting before releasing a new version, we can start by describing new things that we added to that version. Thank you for adding that to the agenda. Finally, Burak, you have something about, testing. Nice.
Yes, so the flaky tests got on my nerves, and I want to destroy all of them. And I need all of your help. So I think I might have currently a PR open which fixes one of it, probably. And after that, I would probably send a message into the Slack, and I would want like everyone, if you see a flaky test, just give the link into the Slack message in the thread that I will create, or put it somewhere, because I hate all of them. I want to destroy. Yes, Francis?
Yeah, regarding flaky tests, and I don't like them too. The big problem with logging the link is that the link, they are not up to infinity. They, after one period of time, they just expire. Nonetheless, I think there is trace network, which is often flaky. And on a general manner, I would like to say that all the things which are trying to communicate with network outside tends to be flaky. So yeah, we should take a look at the trace network and this kind of stuff. If we can just have it locally, for example, I don't know what it does currently, but for example, if you can just run an Nginx beside this gadget to just ping or curl this Nginx to trace the network, it would be cooler than trying to communicate with outside of GitHub Action, because yeah, on this it's often not that really cool. But yeah, the good idea. But if we log it, we need to log it and act on it within 3 months or something like this. Otherwise, we would just have log it for nothing.
Yeah, so regarding Nginx, we are currently doing that. And regarding the logging, I think 3 months is okay. I would say I would personally collect all the logs for a week or so and then compile the list, which actions would we need. And regarding the trace network, I looked at it. And the problem is that our cube IP resolver, which enriches the event with the pod name, in these cases didn't work. So the event was there, the correct IP was there, message and program, but the enrichment of the name just didn't work. So I think I have a fix for it. That's why I said I will give you a start. Yes, Francis?
Yeah, sorry, I was just still having the hand raised. But yeah, please do open the pull request or ping me on it, because I want to take a look at it.
Yeah, regarding this, I'm wondering, is there a way to check the latest results of a specific test across all runs? For instance, if I want to see if Trace network is failing in the latest main PRs, how can I see that without having to enter to each of the runs and looking for the specific test? I mean, something like a table where I can see the name of the test and then the result of all previous runs, so we could easily understand it, that the specific test is failing on the latest ones, or it fails many times because it's flaky or something like that. I remember there was something in Minikube, but I can't find it anymore. When we run a test, it was
What they do in Minikube is that they log all their tests, and they have statistics regarding if a test is flaky at X or Y%. But yeah, I would like to avoid this because
Okay, so yeah, I agree. Maybe we can start by collecting the logs by hand, trying to fix the test that we detect are flaky. That hopefully will help with the stability of the CI.
Yeah, just to add to the Minikube one, I agree with Francis. It's like they have a lot of code just to print the stats for their test. But I was thinking we have the summaries for the test. If we can, at some point, I wanted to maybe write a script that can just script the summaries and get out the failing test. That was one idea.
Sorry, Cassian, I missed the Do you mean to have like a script where you can add for a specific test, the result in the latest runs, what I was mentioning before?
Yeah, something like that. But there is no unified dashboard from GitHub Actions or anything. Like I think like Minikube is also doing it manually. My idea was that if we can go through the job summaries and like a script that scrapes previous 20 things and just print the result, something like that. That would not be a lot of work, but maybe gives us an idea.
Yeah, makes sense. Maybe this is something that we can explore as well. Okay, folks, so we are almost, well, actually we are already over time. So if there are any last minute comment, we can make that. Otherwise, we can just call it a meeting. Any more questions, comments that you would like to discuss? Okay, folks, so this is all. It was very nice chatting to you, and thank you so much for attending this Developers Inc. meeting. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.